Welcome to the Stoic Tide. There's something incredibly powerful about being missed, about having someone think about you so much that your absence feels louder than your presence ever could. Picture this, the moments where you aren't even around, and yet you're the first thing that crosses their mind. They replay conversations. Imagine your reactions, feel your influence even when you're not there. This isn't some mind game or manipulation. This is mastery. Mastery of self. Of the way you carry yourself and of the undeniable value you bring into someone's life. And what if I told you that this kind of presence, this kind of unforgettable impression, is rooted in an ancient philosophy that's been teaching people how to command their own minds for thousands of years? Today we're diving deep into the Stoic principles that can make you a lasting presence in someone's thoughts. We're not talking about tricks or strategies to get attention. This is about becoming someone so impactful, so anchored in calmness, virtue, and strength, that your influence naturally lingers. The ancient Stoics, Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus had it all figured out. They understood that the key to being unforgettable lies not in what you say or how often you're around, but in who you are when you show up, and even more importantly, how you carry yourself when you step away. Today, I'm going to walk you through 10 Stoic skills that, when mastered, will not only transform the way you live, but will ensure that when you're not around, you're the first person they think of. These are principles grounded in wisdom and control, in living with purpose. By the end of this video, you'll have the tools to become unforgettable, not by chasing attention, but by living in a way that commands respect, curiosity, and admiration. Stick with me, because we're about to unlock the Stoic secrets to becoming the kind of person people just can't get out of their heads, even when you're not in the room. If you appreciate what we're doing here, the simple and free favor I'll ask from you is to hit the subscribe button. Your support means the world to us, and trust me, you won't want to skip any part of this video, because every Stoic skill we cover today is essential to becoming truly unforgettable. Let's get started. Imagine you're in a heated argument. Emotions are flying left and right, and everyone expects you to explode, to lose your temper, to lash out. But instead, you stay calm, composed, and measured. You take a deep breath, and rather than letting your anger or frustration take over, you respond with clarity and control that moment. Right? There is powerful. It's memorable. People don't expect calm in the middle of chaos, and when you're the one who can bring that stillness into the storm, it sticks in their mind. They start thinking, how did they manage to stay so calm? Seneca put it perfectly. You have power over your anger. If you choose to control it, it's not about pretending. You're not angry or bottling up your emotions. It's about deciding how you want to react. And here's the thing, when you control your reaction, you control the situation. You shift the dynamic from chaos to calm. And that kind of control isn't just powerful, it's magnetic. People remember the person who stays calm under pressure, the person who doesn't get swept away by emotion. And when they think of you, they think of someone steady, grounded, and in control. Think about how rare that is in today's world. Most people are quick to react, quick to anger, quick to let their emotions dictate their behavior. But when you're the one who keeps your head while everyone else is losing theirs, you set yourself apart. You become the person people admire and respect, not because you dominate the conversation, but because you dominate yourself. And let's be real, we all have those moments where staying calm feels impossible. Whether it's a tough day at work, a frustrating situation at home, or just dealing with everyday stress. But that's exactly why self-control is so powerful. It's a muscle. And the more you practice it, the stronger it gets. The next time you feel yourself getting swept away by frustration or anger, stop, take a breath, and remember, you have the choice. You can react or you can respond. And when you respond with calmness, you're not only changing the way you feel, you're changing the way others see you. Think about your daily life. Whether you're at work, in a relationship, or even just navigating through traffic, when you maintain self-control, people notice. They admire the calmness in the middle of stress. They think about how you managed to stay composed when others couldn't. You become memorable because you stand out in a world where most people are led by their emotions instead of leading their emotions. And here's the kicker. Self-control isn't just about making you look good in front of others. It's about giving you peace when you're not a slave to your emotions. You feel more grounded, more secure. You're not tossed around by every little thing that goes wrong in your day, you're centered. And that inner strength radiates outwards. You end up not just feeling better, but also being better in every area of your life. When we talk about rational decision-making, it's easy to think about spreadsheets, logic, or making choices without emotion. But Stoicism teaches us that it's so much more than that. It's about clarity of thought. It's about making choices with intention, not impulse, and when you're someone who consistently makes thoughtful decisions, you naturally stand out. People remember you for your wisdom, your ability to see the big picture, and your calm, calculated approach in moments of stress or uncertainty. Marcus Aurelius had a saying that's always stuck with me: the happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts. Let that sink in for a moment. When you think clearly, you act clearly. When your decisions are based on wisdom, rather than impulse or emotion, you become a person. People trust someone they look up to in times of uncertainty. Picture this. You're at work. A big decision needs to be made and everyone's panicking, trying to rush into a choice just to relieve the pressure, but you, instead of getting caught up in the stress of the moment, take a step back. You assess the situation, weigh the pros and cons, and calmly suggest the best path forward. You don't just make a decision, you make a rational decision, and that's what sets you apart. People will start seeing you as someone they can rely on, someone whose judgment is solid. It's not about being right all the time. It's about making thoughtful, well-considered choices. And that's a quality people can't help but admire. Think about it in your personal life too. How often do we make decisions based on how we feel in the moment? Whether it's reacting to a conflict with a friend, making a big financial decision, or even just choosing how to spend our time. When you start approaching decisions from a rational Stoic perspective, you remove a lot of the unnecessary stress and drama. You're not making decisions based on fear, frustration, or impulse. You're making them from a place of calm understanding. Imagine being the person who, in the middle of a tough situation, doesn't get caught up in the chaos. You stay grounded. You take time to think things through. That's the kind of person others remember when things get tough. People will start asking themselves, what would they do in this situation? And that's powerful. You're not just making decisions for yourself anymore. You're setting an example for others. You're the rock, the one who brings logic and balance into situations where others might crumble or react without thinking. And here's where the Stoics really had it figured out. Rational decision-making doesn't mean ignoring your emotions or pretending they don't exist. It means recognizing them, but not letting them take the wheel. It's about acknowledging how you feel, but still making decisions that serve your long-term well-being, not just your short-term comfort. Epictetus said it best. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Rational decision making is about owning that reaction. It's about choosing a response that aligns with your values, rather than being swept away by whatever emotions are strongest in the moment. And let's not forget, making rational decisions doesn't just benefit you, it benefits everyone around you, whether it's in your career, your relationships, or even just your everyday interactions. People start to look to you as someone who can handle pressure, someone who doesn't rush into things or make impulsive choices. That kind of presence is rare. And when people find it, they don't forget it. And this kind of decision-making has a ripple effect. When you consistently make choices that are rational and well-considered, you become a person of influence. Others begin to seek your advice, they trust your judgment, and they look to you in moments of uncertainty. This kind of impact doesn't just make you memorable, it makes you invaluable. People remember the ones who help them see clearly, who help them make better decisions themselves. This is one of those skills that's not just about surviving tough times, it's about thriving through them. Resilience is the ability to bounce back, to get up after life knocks you down. And in Stoicism, resilience is more than just a trait. It's a philosophy. It's about facing hardship head-on, not with bitterness, but with strength and grace. And here's the truth. People remember how you handle adversity. They remember the person who didn't give up when things got tough, the person who kept going no matter how hard the road was. That's unforgettable. Now, adversity comes in all shapes and sizes, right? Maybe it's a job loss, a failed relationship, or a personal setback that really shook you. Most people, when faced with these challenges, get stuck. They dwell on what went wrong, they let the situation define them, and they struggle to move forward. But Stoicism teaches us something different. It teaches us that adversity is not the end. It's an opportunity. As Seneca said, a gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials. In other words, hardship is what shapes you. It's what builds your character and makes you stronger. Imagine this. You're going through a really tough time. Maybe you've been hit with bad news, or a project you've been working on completely falls apart. Most people would let the weight of that drag them down, maybe even give up. But instead, you decide to approach the situation. With resilience, you take a deep breath. Remind yourself that this is just another challenge, and you keep pushing forward. You don't let the adversity define you. Instead, you use it to grow. And when people see that, it leaves a mark. They think, how did they stay so strong in the face of all that? Resilience isn't about pretending everything's fine when it's not. It's about acknowledging the struggle and choosing to move forward anyway. And here's the thing. People are watching. They notice how you react when things don't go your way. Do you crumble under the pressure? Or do you rise, even if it's just one step at a time? The way you handle adversity becomes part of your story, and people remember the person who didn't back down. That's the kind of strength that lingers in their minds. Think about some of the most inspiring people. Chances are they didn't have it easy. They faced struggles, failures, and setbacks. But what sets them apart is how they responded to those challenges. They didn't let adversity stop them. They used it to fuel their growth, and that's what Stoic resilience is all about. It's not just about surviving. It's about using every challenge as a stepping stone toward becoming a better, stronger version of yourself. There's a quote from Marcus Aurelius that captures this perfectly. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. In Stoicism, obstacles aren't just roadblocks. They're the path forward. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to grow, to learn, to become more resilient. And when you embrace that mindset, you're not just weathering the storm. You're becoming stronger because of it. People notice that kind of mindset, and it sticks with them. They start to see you as someone who doesn't just go through life, but grows through life. Resilience also builds respect. When people see that you can handle adversity with grace, they start to trust you more. They know that you're not going to fall apart at the first sign of trouble. You become a leader, not because you're the loudest or the most dominant, but because you've shown you can handle whatever life throws your way. That kind of quiet strength is rare, and it's something people never forget. And the beauty of resilience is that it's a skill you can build. It's like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. Every time you face a challenge, you have a choice. You can either let it defeat you, or you can use it to grow. And when you choose growth, you're not only improving yourself, you're also shaping how others see you. They'll remember how you faced adversity, and they'll think of you as someone who doesn't quit, someone who rises no matter how hard the fall. In a time where we're constantly distracted by notifications, endless to-do lists, and the hustle of everyday life, the ability to be truly present with someone is a rare and powerful thing. When you're fully there, mentally, emotionally, and physically, you're giving a gift that's becoming increasingly scarce: your undivided attention. And let me tell you, people feel it when you're really present with them, and they remember it. Think about the last time you had a conversation with someone, but they were clearly half listening, maybe glancing at their phone or looking past you. How did that make you feel? Probably like you weren't being heard, like your words didn't really matter now. Imagine the opposite, when someone is fully engaged with you, looking you in the eye, listening to every word, and responding with real thought and care. It feels incredible, doesn't it? That's the power of mindful presence. It makes the other person feel valued, seen, and important, and that feeling sticks with them long after the conversation is over. Marcus Aurelius said, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to think, to enjoy, to love." That quote embodies mindful presence. It's about recognizing the value of each moment and giving it your full attention. When you're truly present with someone, you're not just hearing their words, you're experiencing the moment with them. And in today's fast-paced world, where everyone's rushing from one thing to the next, that kind of presence is rare. People notice it because it's so different from the norm, and they'll remember how you made them feel fully understood and appreciated. Here's where mindful presence becomes a superpower. It builds deep, meaningful connections. People are drawn to those who make them feel heard and valued. It's not about dominating the conversation or trying to impress them. It's about being there with them fully in the moment. Whether it's a friend, a colleague, or even a stranger, when you're fully present, you create a space where genuine connection can happen. And those connections are what make you unforgettable. And here's the best part. Being present doesn't just benefit the other person. It benefits you too when you're fully engaged in. The moment you're more connected to life, you're not distracted by the noise in your head or the endless list of things you need to do. You're here now, and that brings a sense of peace and fulfillment. You start to notice things you would have missed if you were distracted. The tone in someone's voice, the way their eyes light up when they talk about something they love, or the subtle shifts in their mood. Being present helps you understand people better, and that deepens your relationships. There's a reason why the Stoics valued mindful presence so much. Epictetus believed that we should keep your attention focused entirely on what is truly your own concern, and be clear that what belongs to others is their business. This is about not letting your mind wander off into worries about the past or future, but staying focused on what's right in front of you. When you're fully present with someone, you're not thinking about what happened yesterday or what you need to do later. You're right there in that moment. And that's incredibly powerful. Think of it like this: life is made up of a series of moments, and each moment you're fully present for is a moment lived fully. The more present you are, the more meaningful your interactions become. And when people experience that from you, they'll keep coming back for more. Why? Because we all crave that kind of connection. We all want to feel like the person we're talking to is really there with us, not lost in their own world. When you're the person who can give them that, you become someone they can't help but think about. And the best part? This isn't something you need to wait for the right moment to practice. You can start being more present right now. Whether you're having a conversation, working on a task, or even just spending time with yourself, practice being fully engaged. Put away distractions, take a deep breath, and focus on what's in front of you. Not only will you experience more joy and peace, but you'll also create deeper connections with those around you. This isn't about bottling up your feelings or pretending you're unaffected by what's going on around you. It's about managing your emotions in a way that allows you to respond thoughtfully, rather than react impulsively. And when you do this, people notice. They remember the person who stays calm, composed, and in control. No matter what's happening in a world where so many people let their emotions drive their actions, being the one who can keep it together makes you unforgettable. Now we all know how easy it is to let emotions get the best of us, right? You're in a tense situation. Maybe someone says something that triggers you, and before you know it, you've snapped or reacted in a way you regret later. It's natural, but Stoicism teaches us that while we can't always control what happens to us, we can control how we react to it. As Epictetus said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. This is the essence of emotional regulation. It's not about denying how you feel, it's about choosing how you express those feelings. Think about a time when someone around you lost control, whether it was an argument, a stressful work situation, or even just a moment of frustration. Their emotional reaction likely escalated the situation, right? Now imagine the opposite: being in a difficult conversation or under pressure. And instead of reacting with frustration or anger, you pause, you take a breath, collect your thoughts, and respond with calmness and clarity. That moment stands out. People remember the person who didn't lose their cool, who kept their emotions in check and responded with grace. That's emotional regulation in action, and it's a skill that leaves a lasting impression. This doesn't mean you suppress your emotions or pretend they don't exist. In fact, emotional regulation is about being aware of your emotions, recognizing when they're rising up, and then making a conscious decision about how to handle them. It's like being the captain of a ship in rough seas. The waves of emotion may be crashing all around you, but you're still steering. You're not letting those waves knock you off course. And that's what people notice. They see you as someone who doesn't get swept away by the chaos, but who can navigate through it with poise. This is especially true in relationships, whether personal or professional. We all face situations that test our emotions: arguments with a partner, disagreements with a coworker, or even stressful moments in day-to-day life. But when you're able to regulate your emotions, You become the person others look to for stability. You're not the one escalating the argument or adding fuel to the fire. You're the one diffusing it, bringing a sense of calm and responding in a way that moves things forward rather than getting stuck in the emotion of the moment. That's the kind of emotional intelligence that people can't help but admire. And here's the thing. Emotional regulation isn't about being detached or robotic. It's about being intentional with how you express your emotions. It's knowing when to speak and when to pause. It's about responding thoughtfully even when you're feeling heated inside. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind." Not outside events realize this, and you will find strength. That's exactly what emotional regulation gives you. The strength to manage your reactions, to decide how you show up in each moment regardless of how intense the situation is. The more you practice emotional regulation, the more people will notice. They'll start to see you as someone who brings calm into stressful situations, someone who can handle pressure without losing their head. And let's be real, everyone wants to be around someone like that. When people feel like they can count on you to stay calm, it builds trust. They start to associate you with clarity and composure, and that's something they'll remember long after the moment has passed. But here's the best part. Emotional regulation doesn't just make you stand out to others, it also brings you peace when you're able to manage your emotions. You're not constantly being pulled in different directions by every little thing that goes wrong. You're not reacting to every slighter stressor. Instead, you're centered. You're in control of your own mind, your own actions. And that gives you a sense of calm and confidence that's hard to shake. If this video resonated you well enough, please hit the like button and subscribe to Stoic Tide for more insights, and share this message to friends who really need this. Stay stoic, stay blessed.